much, now I'm swallowed. Now I'm the fool while you're breaking rules. Dangerous path that I follow. Oh, go on, just do what you do.
Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed some of those shots that I got trying out my gimbal with my iPhone 10 that I have. Anyway, with this video, what I want to hopefully get done today is removing the engine, potentially removing all the wiring for the ECU and everything, and really just start making some progress with the teardown. I do plan on just parting this bike out, and as soon as I can break it down and make it a little bit more manageable, I can start selling off those pieces. So the goal for this video is to start really just tearing into it, so stick around. Not being a bike guy, I really don't know the order I should be going at this. So first thing I'm going to try and take off is the gas tank, which I've had off before, so I know that's not too hard. After that, I'm going to go ahead and take off the radiator, and we'll just see what comes next.
As I bleed for you, cry for you.
Alright, I forgot to mention, what I am going to try and do as I take this off is, if I know what the connection is, I'm going to try and put some tape on there and mark it so that once I sell this, if someone wants to retrofit this engine into something else, a side-by-side, that they'll be able to at least have some sort of idea of what these random connections are. Hopefully you've been able to see the time lapse I'm running there from this camera. What I'm struggling to get right now is the injector plugs. They seem to be on there really well, and at this point I'm just going to try and get the entire wiring harness out with all of this. Trying to keep it as intact as possible, and then labeling anything that might not be obvious where it goes. So still trying to get these couple plugs off, and then I think that's going to be everything that's going to be connected to the engine. So hopefully after that we can start getting the engine out. So stick around. Alright, it's taken forever, but I finally got those injector plugs off. And the way I had to do it was I had to actually get in on this side and pry against the pin inside there, which meant I had to take this throttle body stuff off. And the way you do that is up inside here, you'll see this little Allen key. So you loosen that and you're able to pull it up, and then you can get your screwdriver in there. That has been the hardest part so far, removing this entire harness. So we're gonna keep going and hopefully time lapse the rest of this and get the entire harness out of the way. So it took me a minute to figure out the best way to disconnect the starter. I ended up just disconnecting it from the little fuse block up here. Now what I'm going to try and do is probably pull the exhaust as well as pull the radiator here, and I think I will be ready to try and drop the engine. The only thing I don't know if it's going to hold me up is the throttle cable, so you might see some time lapse of me trying to take that off as well. Got the radiator off now, which you should be able to see. I also took the exhaust off, which just doing that alone made this bike look so much more bare. Nothing really looks like it's left on there. I started to take out some of these bolts that look to be holding the motor in, because I think that's going to be my next step, is trying to get the motor to actually tip down. Again, I'm not exactly sure what the best way to go about that is, but I guess we'll find out. I did see over here that I need to figure out how I'm going to get the chain off, because that's going to prevent the engine from tipping forward. So I need to start looking at that, figure out what I got to do there. So I've already tried to take this chain off a couple different ways. The first thing I did was I took this sensor here off, and I tried to take this nut off. Unfortunately, I could not get that to come off no matter what I tried. So my last resort was to cut the chain. I didn't have the right tool to break the chain and just push one of the rivets out. So what I ended up doing was just taking some bolt cutters, and I got it off. So I should be able to just pull this, and we have a chain.
All of the pain seems to follow, like a shadow dark and cold to the touch. Am I insane not to let go?
Finally kind of come down. Took a couple of bolts out here, and there was a really long one going through this hole here. Right here. So I've got it to tip down. Now the key thing is going to be, I think this down here is my last bolt holding us in. Sorry, not that one, this one here. And then I think I'll be able to pull the engine out of there. I can't figure out yet how to take the throttle cables off, so that's why I just took the throttle bodies entirely off as an assembly, and then I can put them back on afterwards. So here in a second, we should have that engine out of there.
Go on, just do what you do. And it hurts.
Alright, we got the engine out finally. You'll probably see in the time lapse there that I struggled to get it out around this part of the frame, so it was kind of a circus act there trying to balance everything. But the engine is officially out. And this bike just looks so weird without everything. So I'm still gonna try and get these throttle bodies off and put those back onto the engine itself. But I think that's probably about as far as I'm gonna go. I might still try and finish taking off the harness, but we'll see.
As I bleed for you, cry for you, oh, oh. Let me bleed. As I bleed for you, cry for you, oh, oh. Let me bleed. Let me bleed. Let me.
Alright, as you can see, we did get the engine out. The only thing I didn't get finished was pulling off the wiring harness. I still have it stuck down there with part of the ABS system. I'm alright with that. I just need to wait till I have more time to try and really get that out the right way. But anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. It does help me out. If you can, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, I'm sorry, maybe leave a comment. Tell me what I did wrong. I've enjoyed this so far. I'm trying to get my money back. It's not the greatest thing, but we'll see where we can go from here. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to see something else with this bike or another type of video, let me know. Just leave a comment. See you next time.